What's going on, guys? This is James with another video. I want to talk about car loans, and this may be my first video, and I'm a shy person, but I'm just going to tell y'all like it is. If you get a car loan, you better get the car you want, because if you get the wrong car, or you just, you being too impatient just because you got a good job and everything, when you trying to trade it in and you realize you wanted another car, it ain't gonna be too easy for you. Actually, it's frustration and a lot of waste of time, actually. Just over a year ago, I had got a good job and everything, and I was like, well, now I already had a 2001 Toyota Celica, but I wanted another car with more power. So I said, well, the main thing I wanted was a Mustang GT. So when I got the job, I started looking into a car loan. So I went to state employees, asked for a car loan. And the car I wanted was a 2006 Mustang GT with 59,000 miles, straight shift. It had a K&N cold air intake up there. It had some exhaust, but I don't know what brand, but it sounded like bullshit. So, okay. Went on a test drive for the Mustang. As the guy was pulling back into traffic, the Mustang had cut off. But he basically said it was the battery. He didn't really give it enough gas, that's why it cut off, but the point was it didn't start. So when it didn't start, I was like, I don't know if I want it. But it had really good mileage, and I'm pretty sure it was the battery, but I was kind of scared at the time. So I said, I'll let you know over the weekend if I want the car. Went out of town to the dealership, looked at a Dodge Charger 2011. Everything rode good, the car was nice looking and everything. And then it was a V6. So now I was like, well, I rode a test drive. I had my mom and dad, it was me. And I was like, well, it's pretty cool to have 4 seats. So just in case we want to go to church on Sundays, like normally, they might want to ride with me sometimes. So I said the 4 seats pretty cool. So the car rides pretty good. I had no problems. I basically said, okay, I want the car. Went to the bank, got my loan and everything, got the car. Car's riding good and everything. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I want to start modifying it. Because one day I was riding, and sometimes I see like a Mustang GT, and then I see like a Dodge Charger Hemi, or I see a Camaro SS, or something like even a 350Z, or any kind of sports car basically. And I was like, man, I want a straight shift or a V8 with a V8 basically. And I was like, man, I really want a Mustang. I should have got that Mustang from the start. So now the main thing about car loans is when you get a car, if it got like a high mileage or anything like that, it will be hard to trade it in, trust me. If you got negative equity on that car, you might have to pay $5 grand down in order to get the car range, in that price range of the value of the car. Like, even if I try to get a 2010 Mustang GT, it was like 17,000, and they basically gave me about 8,000 for my car, and I was paying like 13 something. So that 4,000 is gonna go on top of that 17,000 car, which making the car too high for the value. So then they'll say, okay, what money you gonna want to put down, basically, unless you get a new car. So I'm running the dealership to dealership. I didn't know at first what negative equity was and how it goes. So then this guy said, okay, I'm gonna try the Camaro. It's a 2016 Camaro, the turbo, the 4-cylinder. So he said, I'm gonna try the Camaro. So we was gonna try the Camaro, and the reason why he did it because it was a brand new Camaro. It was a 2016 at the time, no miles. It only had like 94 miles up there. And then I was wondering, I said, why he putting me in a brand new Camaro? But now I know it doesn't have any value on the car. So you can trade your car in, but you're going to have to get a new one basically if you in much negative equity like I was. Because I got my Charger with 90,000 miles. 99,000 miles. But the Mustang only had like 59,000 miles, which I kind of wish I got that. And I had everything I wanted in the car without me having to buy everything and put it in my Charger and try to upgrade it and modify whatever. It's real. It's real. It will be hard to trade your car in unless you get a brand new one, which is going to make your payment sky high because of the negative equity on your vehicle. So yeah, this just a warning sign. I mean, you can go, you guys can go to the dealership and try the loan, but I mean, when you got negative equity, but when a new car it's going to be high. The 2016 Camaro was 31,000, I think, and then my negative equity brought it all the way up to 35-something thousand, 30-something thousand, high 35, 37. It was somewhere around there. So I went to the bank. I asked the lady, what's the longest term? Because I try to get the cheapest payment I can get because of the negative equity on my car. She said, your payments will be $475 for 8 years. I said, $475 for 8 years? She said, yes, that's a long time. She even said it herself. So, I mean, that's the longest term, and it was $475. Imagine if I would have got it at 5 or 6 years. So, that's just advice on, car loans, when you're trying to trade your car in, because when you, I'm basically saying when you trying to, when you want a car, with your first car loan, get the car you want. Because if you don't get the car you want, and then you just like settle and get any kind of car, and then when you see other cars like what they have in the car, you will want that car. So yeah, this just some advice on car loans. So you make sure you make the right decision. Like, be patient and get the car you want. Look at dealerships and other dealerships to make sure that's exactly what the car you want. Because now I want a straight shift. It don't even have to have a V8. I just want a straight shift now. So yeah, that's my experience. But I also want to say, one time I was trying to trade it in. They said that it was an '09 Mustang. They said, okay, that's too much for the value, the negative equity. So they said you might want to get like a 2016 Dodge Challenger. So we talked about that, and I said, yeah, I think the Challenger too high on my price range because of the negative equity. So then he said, I hate to go south, anything like land, but I think I can get you out of here in a Dodge Dart. And I just looked at like, I think I'll wait a while before I trade my car. You can either trade it in, and get a new car, or you can just pay the money down. Let's see. If you got the money to pay the money down, just pay. That's if you want the car bad enough. Just pay the money down. But yeah, that's just my advice on, car loans. If y'all have any questions, just ask. I'm here. All right. I'm out.